this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Work can be a little weird. Cringy training seminars, coworkers who won't stop talking about their plant, forgetting the mute button at an inopportune moment. We have to deal with a lot on any given workday. Sometimes it can feel hard to thrive and move forward in your career. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in. LinkedIn helps you get ideas and insights from experts in your field, connect with people professionally, grow your network, and access tools designed to help you find the right fit for your next role. Whether you're just getting started, figuring out your next move, or looking to accelerate your career, LinkedIn is built to support you at every stage because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more. Hey, and welcome to Short Stuff, the very brief podcast. I'm Josh, there's Chuck, that's Jerry. Let's get going. No time for laughing, Chuck.
Welcome, everybody. And just as a very quick explanation, we had this idea because we often come across cool, little, interesting tidbits that certainly don't warrant a 45-minute episode. Mm-hmm. And everyone else on the planet is doing little shorty episodes on their podcasts. And we thought, well, hey, in year 10, why don't we give it a shot?
Yeah, let's try something new for once.
Yeah, so I hope you all like it.
Great. Well, we've just wasted a lot of time, Chuck. We might not get to the end of this episode now.
I thought we agreed there was no ticking clock.
So, you've seen a grandfather clock before, right?
Yeah, we had, not what is the smaller version called that hangs on the wall?
Actually, I saw those called wag on the wall clocks. Those are the original ones.
Okay, we had one of those growing up.
Or it's just like an exposed pendulum swinging back and forth.
Yeah, 3-ish feet.
3-ish feet in length?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like off the wall.
No, yeah.
Like, that sounds dangerous.
My dad rigged up a hovering mechanism. It was pretty advanced.
Right. And the pendulum was super sharp, so you better watch out. So, but you're familiar with like the kind that are tall and stand on the floor.
Yeah.
So those are actually, and love them as grandfather clocks.
Sure.
But the name grandfather clock didn't come around until about 200 years after grandfather clocks were invented.
Yeah, and it's funny when I saw this that they were invented about 350 years ago, and when I saw that they were originally called long case clocks, I immediately liked that name better.
Long case better than grandfather. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
I'm ambivalent toward both.
Because you like cuckoo clocks.
I do like cuckoo clocks for sure. But the name grandfather clock, we'll find out where it came from. But the grandfather clock itself, or the long case clock, was actually one of the first clocks. And it kind of makes sense because if you think about it, when you start out inventing something new, it's huge. It's enormous. Mm-hmm. And then as you get better at it over time and find like workarounds and shortcuts and stuff, you can make it smaller and smaller. So it makes sense that some of the first actually precise clocks were giant grandfather clocks. And again, they just had the pendulum swinging back and forth. You could mount them on the wall. They were called wag on the wall clocks. And the first person who really tried to invent this thing was none other than Galileo Galilei.
Yeah, he's the one that discovered, hey, a pendulum swings at a constant rate regardless of its size. I think we've got something here, boys. And unfortunately, he died before he could actually make a legit clock.
Yeah, but he tried for like his whole life.
Yeah, that's what killed him.
It was the sharp pendulum got him. And he's like, I regret everything.
But a Dutch astronomer named Christian Huygens built the very first pendulum clock in the 1657, and this is when, apparently this is the most accurate timepiece ever in the history of the world. Yeah,
before that, clocks were accurate within 15 minutes every 24 hours.
It's pretty good.
Sure, for the early 17th century.
Yeah.
But then Huygens comes along, and his was accurate within a minute every 24 hours. So
that's great.
Finally, what he had produced was something that you could actually use for like scientific purposes, which, again, as you said, he was an astronomer, and you need precise clocks for astronomy. So he kind of made a scientific instrument for himself more than, Let's make something that everybody sets their watch to.
Yeah, so his wasn't a long case clock though, but because people like to invent and build on others' work. Of course, he's got bigger and bigger, and eventually in London, in like not even too many years later, 3 or 4 years later, the very first long case clocks started, like 6 feet tall, started to be released into for purchase.
Yeah, and there was a dude named Clement. I can't remember his first name, but he added he basically made the pendulum so precise that all of a sudden there was a clock that was accurate within a second over 24 hours. And so they added minute hands and second hands and really started to show off. But at the time, in the late 17th, early 18th centuries, you had to literally be royalty to afford a clock like this. And then over time, again, as they figured out shortcuts and there were improvements in manufacturing, you just had to be somewhat rich to afford them. And they started to spread, and they started to kind of encase them in wood. They started really kind of tricking them out and everything. They made the pendulum look really beautiful. And then what you know and love as a grandfather clock really kind of was developed between, I think, up to about 1850, I think, right? From the late 17th century up to 1850.
That sounds about right.
And then that was like kind of the golden age of the grandfather clock. And then they just stopped progressing. They said, this is perfect. This is the grandfather clock, although we don't call it that yet. And we're going to just leave it as is and say we're happy with this model.
Yeah, so put a pin in that. And then we switch on over to the story of a man named Henry Clay Work, who was born in Connecticut in 1832. He was a musician, singer-songwriter, very emo, from what I understand.
A little bit. I got that too.
And it was back in the days when you would write like war songs. That doesn't happen much today unless you count like Toby Keith.
Sure.
Whatever work he's doing.
Right.
Whatever good work he's doing. But he was a champion of the North. And he had a song called Kingdom Coming, a pro-union ballad, which gave him a music contract with a publishing firm named Root and Caddy, or Caddy. And he started pumping out hits over like the next decade or so until hard times fell. He made some bad financial moves. 2 of his kids died in the 1870s. And so his life, he kind of fell on hard times. But he would come back with a big, big hit called Grandfather's Clock.
Right. And this is actually where the name Grandfather Clock comes from, is from this guy's song. And it's a pretty sweet song, actually.
It's very sad.
He basically sings about how his grandfather, his great-grandparents bought a long case clock on the day his grandfather was born.
Yeah. What a great baby gift.
Right, exactly. Here you go, kid. Maybe someday you'll be this tall. Who knows?
Here's a long case clock and a whoopee.
Right, exactly. Don't let it fall on you. But they bought, I guess now that you point it out, it's a weird baby gift, but
sure.
It was a great, sturdy, reliable clock, and it worked through the grandfather's whole life until the day he died. And the day that the grandfather died, the clock stopped as well, and it still hasn't worked since.
Yeah, here's the lyric. My grandfather's clock was too large for the shelf, so it stood 90 years on the floor. It was bought on the morn of the day he was born, and was always his treasure and pride, but it stopped short, never to go again when the old man died.
Yeah, and America was like, oh, God, this is the greatest song anyone will ever write. We can just stop. We can stop improving on grandfather clocks. We can stop writing songs now. And the two come together in the in this writing by Work, or this song by Henry Clay Work, right?
Yeah, it was a big, big hit. He sold close to 1 million copies, made the equivalent of about $95,000
nice
on the song. Johnny Cash would record it. Prairie Home Companion spoofed it. I think Skrillex. Just kidding. Remixed it.
It was in a video game called Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah,
it was
remixed.
Yeah, and if you look it up in the OED, the Oxford English Dictionary, if you look up grandfather clock, it attributes the etymology of that term to Work.
Yeah.
Henry Clay Work. That his name does not stick to the brain.
No.
Even having Henry Clay in it.
I know. You'd think that would do it for us.
Yeah, but Henry Clay Work, it just does not stick. So it was a huge deal, and it's pretty much undisputed. I think it's 100% undisputed that Henry Clay Work was the person who came up with this song that later became the name for long case clocks, grandfather clocks.
Right. So we're going to take a very short break, and we're going to come back and tell you about what inspired Work to write that song himself.
Hey everybody, we're here to talk to you about Wayfair, who believes that spaces should be functional, they should be comfortable, they should be well designed, and they can be well designed by you with their help.
Your updated space should feel more comfortable, inviting, and practical for everyday use. And we're talking about outdoor seating. We're talking about grills. We're talking about major appliances. If you need storage solutions, Wayfair can help you out. Patio lighting, rugs, decor. It is your one-stop shop for home.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting nice out, so it's time to think about living outdoors for the next few months. And Wayfair knows that outdoor furniture, it's heavy, it's intimidating to assemble. So Wayfair has stepped in and said, we're going to handle the hard part so you don't have to.
That's right. You can shop Wayfair Verified, your shortcut to the good stuff. And that means their team of product specialists are going to vet everything by hand using a 10-point inspection, testing things like, quality materials, functionality, and features, and even how long it takes to build that piece of furniture. And the overall experience save time, reduce hassle, and improved convenience.
Patio season is here, and these deals won't last. So head to wayfair.com right now to get your outdoor space ready for way less. That's WAYFAIR.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hey everybody, I want to talk to you a little bit about Tide Evo because it represents over 10 years of innovation and product development. Tide Evo is a first-of-its-kind technology where tens of thousands of minuscule fibers are spun together to form a 6 times powerful layer packed with scrubbers, brighteners, pre-treaters, and fresheners. And that's going to deliver a breakthrough clean that's so powerful it feels like magic.
Yeah, it is kind of like magic. Tide Evo is revolutionary. A 100% concentrated, waterless laundry tile that's made of compressed microfiber soap layers rather than liquid or powder. And it's not like pods or sheets because it uses 6 layers of detergent fibers to deliver superior cold water cleaning without plastic packaging of any kind. And it provides a mess-free, lightweight solution that dissolves lickety-split. So whenever you run into a laundry challenge, turn to Tide Evo. It's revolutionary, it's magic. Try new Tide Evo. Real laundry magic. All right, Chuck, so that was a pretty good cliffhanger.
I think so.
Because you think, like, sure, Henry Clay Work came up with this song, and it had the effect of renaming the long case clock the grandfather clock. But any thinking person's brain is going to keep going and say, but wait a minute, where did Henry Clay Work get the inspiration for this song? And there's actually 2 stories for that.
Yeah, so one of them is there's a hotel called the George Hotel the full name is the George Hotel of Piercebridge.
Yeah, get it right.
In North Yorkshire, England. And they said, and they still claim, that dude wrote this in the lobby. He stayed here in 1874, saw our long case clock, sat down, and started writing a song about it because our clock is frozen in time at 11:05 with a story that is likely what I call BS and what others would call folklore.
Well, I don't. If it's not BS, then I would say yes. These people they have the claim to inspiring the Henry Clay Work song because it has basically the same story. There was a clock bought for the hotel owner's sons, and when the first son died, the clock started to slow, and when the second son died, it stopped altogether.
Yeah. And
if Henry Clay Work stayed at that hotel, heard that story in 1874, ipso facto, it's done. But yes, there is a lot of people are like, those people are lying through their teeth. And they people in their town won't speak to them, actually, because they so detest the lie.
That's right. And the other version of the story, of course, has to do with the family, but not his family, his wife's family, Sarah Parker. Mm-hmm. They said, no. We have the clock. And then he wrote the song about our clock. And he wrote it because, he married our daughter, and we have this great long case clock that belonged to Sarah's grandfather, mm-hmm. and it really has nothing to do with a haunted clock that stops when people die.
Right, but it doesn't work anymore.
Sure.
So, there you go. And then when people ask the family, do you have the clock? They just say, yes. And then leave it at that.
All right. And there's our story.
I've got one more thing. There's actually different. So a grandfather clock is 7 feet.
Yeah.
A 6-footer is called a grandmother clock.
Okay.
5-footer is called a granddaughter clock.
That's cute.
So there you go, Chuck.
And anything shorter is called you're not even a family member clock.
That's right. So I guess that's it.
Yeah.
If you want to find us, you can find us on the web, and we're both at stuffyoushouldknow.com, so look us up, and we'll see you next time, right?
That's right.
The next time you end up with something on your shirt, don't turn to your usual detergent. Check out Tide Evo. Tide Evo represents over 10 years of innovation in product development. It's a revolutionary 100% concentrated waterless laundry tile made of compressed microfiber soap layers rather than liquid or powder. It's not pods and it's not sheets. It uses 6 layers of detergent fibers to deliver superior cold water cleaning without plastic packaging. It's mess-free, lightweight, and dissolves quickly. Try new Tide Evo. Real laundry magic.
Geico presents a 30-second podcast between your podcast. Today's story is shared by one of our listeners. It's called Betrayed by Bill. It was in that moment I caught who was staring back at me in betrayal, or more like what? My insurance bill. With trembling hands, I grabbed my phone and switched to Geico, saving about $900 in the process, and never to be betrayed again. Now that was bloody riveting.
It feels good when the story ends with savings. It feels good to Geico.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed Human.